You know, guys, most people spend their lives chasing money. And I used to think that way too. But over the years, my perspective has definitely changed. And that is, how much money is enough money? And when does time become more important than your money? And is there a balance? And I think there is. And that's what I want to talk about in today's topic. It's a nice, cool day out, overcast. It was a good day to have some coffee here on the go. I like to brew my own coffee now, kind of like in the mornings, sunrise, things like that. I'm tired of waiting here. Anyway, that is what we're going to dive into in today's topic. Stick around. Bangkok nights and Bali shores. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate. Gio, let's go before it's too late. Time keeps slipping. You know, I think people often associate retirement with just working so hard, and they have a set amount in their head, I think. They need the bigger paycheck. They need the bigger house, the better car. They need the new promotion. You know, but it doesn't seem like it ever stops. Or when I was in the US in the rat race, it never stopped. It was always something, chasing the next dream. It was getting into the new car, the new 2026 model. It was getting the job promotion. It was getting that raise. It was putting in granite countertops. It was getting a better landscaped yard. It was always something. It was just constant. And I guess I blame a lot of it on, well, it's just American thinking too. And it might be around the world, may not just be an American thing, but you get brainwashed into just thinking you need the next latest thing. It's like, I have friends who every single year, they need the new iPhone model. Okay, hey, the iPhone 8, I got the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but the iPhone 18 just came out. I've only had this phone 8 months. Oh, I need that new phone. Why? Well, it's got a little bit of a better camera, maybe a little better storage. And it just never stops. It just continues. And I used to be like that. I wanted to put in the new granite countertops, chasing that promotion, chasing the next raise, adding credit card debt, you know. And that's one thing that's been great about living out here in Southeast Asia, is that has stopped. But it doesn't stop for a lot of people, and therefore they never make the move out here because they keep saying, well, let me save up a little bit more. Let me work a little bit longer. Let me get that Social Security a little bit higher. Let me get the 401k a little bit higher. And it just never stops. Just constantly going, always chasing that carrot. But the one thing I would notice in the West is, as your income would increase, so would your expectations. And so, you know, all of a sudden you got that pay raise. So now you're like, well, yeah, now I can get that nicer car. And you never really get to that next level, you know, with more money. It's very rare to see somebody who gets like a raise and they stay at the same lifestyle. Like if they get a jump up in money, very rarely do people stay at that exact same lifestyle. It's very hard for people to do that. And when you get out to Asia, I felt like I was almost not forced, but all of a sudden you really didn't need to keep up with the Joneses anymore. I didn't need the latest. I don't have a car anymore. I didn't need this. I didn't need that. I wasn't chasing, you know, owning a bigger house. Oh, I need more square footage. I need more, you know, it's just never ends. But here, I do want nicer things, but there's only a few things that I really chase after, and the rest of it I really don't care about. By the way, I've really been enjoying this setup lately. Whether I'm in a coffee shop, at the park, or traveling, I've been using the OutIn Mino to make a fresh espresso wherever I am. One thing I like is how compact it is. It's about the size of a water bottle, so it slips easily into my backpack without taking up much space. You can use either Nespresso original capsule or your favorite ground coffee, so you've got options depending on what you're in the mood for. It's really simple to use. Just add water, insert your coffee, press one button, and it takes care of the rest. It heats up the water to nearly 200 degrees and brews at 22 bars of pressure, so you get a rich espresso with a surprisingly nice crema. Since it's IP67 rated for water and dust resistance, I don't have to worry about taking it with me on hikes, road trips, or wherever my travels take me. It also charges quickly, from about 20 to 80% in just 45 minutes, with a full charge in around 90 minutes. For someone who's always on the move like me, it's become an easy part of my morning routine. If you enjoy good coffee while traveling, definitely check out the OutIn Mino. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description and also the pinned comment. And I think what I've learned after 10 years of living overseas is that I value my time a lot more than I do money. Now, don't get me wrong, you have to be at a certain level before you make that move overseas. Don't come out here with $1,000 a month or dreams of a $500 a month budget from these YouTubers that claim to live on that. If they live on it, I would say it's not living, it's surviving. If they're doing it, or a lot of them I think are just BSing you, to be honest. I don't really believe it. I really don't. I've lived in the Philippines all over. I lived in Vietnam. I've lived here. Trust me, it just is not, it's not plausible. And, you know, maybe if you are on like a marriage visa, you own a house already and those expenses are gone, possibly. But again, it is not a great lifestyle. And anyone who tries to sell you on it is full of it. They are absolutely full of it. But you do get to a certain point, and for me, the point where you live very well and you no longer care about really more money. You don't want less money, but I think around the $3,000 a month range, you are at the point where you live very, very well. And like for me, I don't really have a desire to go out and just force myself to, or even look for more ways of making money. For me, I just care about the time more. You know, I want to travel. I want to see places. I want to hang out with friends, relationships, you know, whatever it is, I find that much more valuable. The money, again, of course it's important. You don't want your bill collectors knocking on the door. You know, that's a stressful life when you don't have enough to buy what you want at the grocery store and go out to, you got to cancel plans with friends. Yeah, I don't really have the money this weekend. You don't want that lifestyle either, but you get to a point where enough is enough. And you're like, okay, I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable. And now the time is much more important, especially when you get over 50. You've already lived more years than you're going to live. In fact, probably at the age of 40, to be honest, by the time you've hit 40, you've already now lived more years than you're going to live, than what you have left over. But for me, it equals more freedom, less stress, more experiences, better quality of life, and mornings like this, which I think it's about to rain, but yeah. And another thing that happens is when you're chasing the money, sometimes making more money costs you in different ways. One, it costs you time. I was working well over 60 hours a week. And then before I moved here, I was actually working a second job. I mean, I was killing myself, burning the candle on both ends. But it can cost you a relationship. It can cost you health. You're not getting enough sleep. You're not getting your exercise in. You're getting stress. And it costs you freedom. And money can always be earned again. It may be harder when you get later on in life, but time, you don't get that back. Time you do not get back. And none of us know how long we're going to be on this earth. And especially, again, like I said, when you're over 40, you've already lived more years than you have left. And I want to spend the rest of my time living a healthy life, enjoying mornings like this, just enjoying life in general. Listen, I'm not against making money at all. Absolutely. The more you can make, the better, of course. I mean, nobody's going to argue that. Money, definitely, it gives you choices. It gives you choices of where you want to live, of what type of condo, of what kind of lifestyle, what restaurant you get to eat at. It creates opportunities. I mean, there's no argument there. But don't forget to ask yourself, what am I giving up to make even more? You know, maybe the goal isn't to become richer. Maybe it's becoming freer. So I will end the video with this. What does enough mean to you? Would you rather, at this point of your life, make more money or have more free time? And I guess that is the question. Everybody's going to have a different answer. I don't know if there's a right or wrong. I just know for me, the right amount is about $3,000 a month, where I'm super comfortable. Pretty much anywhere in Southeast Asia. I could live in the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, probably not. But at that amount, I can live very comfortably. Now, if you're asking me if I have a wife and kids, that's a different story. That's a different discussion. I'm talking about as a single guy. So again, let me know down in the comments, what does enough mean to you? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao. Sick of dreaming, want something more. Pack your bags, don't hesitate. Gio, let's go before it's too late. Time keeps slipping away from us. Keep living like this. Away from us, away from us. Gio, let's go.